Who knew that when you become a president, you get to dress like a rapper? 36 years ago, I walked across this very campus as an aimless and confused undergraduate. And now, coming full circle, I stand before you with deeper perspectives and broader life experiences, but probably only slightly less confused. If you don't mind, I'd really like to make one thing clear at the outset. All of this inauguration business might appear to be about me, but in actuality, it's not about me at all. It is about our college. And today's event demarcates one more inflection point on our journey of becoming. It is about those that came before us. It is about our students who are the reason this college exists. And it is about celebrating and furthering a work that is greater than us individually and more perpetual than our specific moment in time. It is also about the spirit of snow, something both ineffable yet unmistakable, an entity and an idea that represents a cross-generational compact to remain loyal to our past but also faithful to our future. My sincerest gratitude goes to our Board of Regents and Board of Trustees that are here today. Thank you for your confidence in me. And I commit my best efforts, Regent Barnes. To Snow's amazing, gifted faculty, thank you. At its core, a college is nothing without learners and teachers. And since you guys all got dressed up today, please stand and be recognized for the powerful and important work you do in the classroom. Please join me, colleagues. Thank you so much for what you do. To all of our dedicated and talented staff, students, distinguished retirees, alumni, and community, thank you. And thank you for your welcoming embrace to me and my family. And it really is because of you that the poet Emily Dickinson phrases, "We dwell in possibility." Isn't that striking? To dwell in possibility. And I believe that we do here at Snow. Snow is also to have, we're so honored to have our legislators here on stage with us. Thank you for your commitment, legislators, to our higher education and to Snow College. And believe me, being a student of higher education, as I look across the country, we are fortunate to have the legislators that we have in support of higher ed. Thank you. We also have us with the former and current commissioners of Utah System of Higher Education, all who have helped shape me professionally. To our former presidents of Snow College, your vision, commitment, and masterful leadership are reflected in Snow's enduring quality as you shored up the very institutional foundations on which we stand today. Dr. Carrie Romsberg, a particular note here, a former president of 3 universities, and my first real boss and mentor. Carrie, thanks for taking a chance on me and believing in me. I must also thank my lovely spouse and profoundly supportive partner, Jen, and our 6 terrific children, Sam, Cairo, Dyson, Dara, Jack, and Charlie. And let me say just how fortunate I feel and how grateful I am for you and how much more complete and rewarding you make life. And knowing what my kids think of their dad's speeches, I asked them the other day, so what do you think I should talk about at this inauguration thing? And one of them said, do you have some sort of short video that we can watch instead? Some video, something interesting maybe, but also not too preachy. I love you all. I was born of remarkable parents who are here today, Gil and Jerry Cook, who I love very much and who have been such a constant source of love and encouragement to me. Thank you, Mom and Dad. They taught me hard work, perseverance, resilience, adaptability, and gratitude. And they opened up the world to me and provided experiences of travel and international living that has fed my thirst for exploration ever since. Thank you. I also have extraordinary brothers who are here tonight, 2 of which, I might add, are also Badger football alums before going on to have very successful Division I careers. And thank you for coming to celebrate Snow College today, guys. And I'm so very glad that you're in my life and being my best friends. I also need to recognize those in the academic processional and in the audience, my fellow presidents, friends and former colleagues from Southern Utah University and Utah Valley University, both places I love and admire, having worked at both places. Thank you to all who have traveled both near and far today, and some as far away as Germany. By the way, I even have my two roommates from Snow College here today, Gary Weiniger and Doyle Obrey, who were bad influences on me, I might add. And remember you two, remember that pact of silence that we made in 1986, right? Shh. I want people to think I'm respectable, okay? So, to the question I've been asked since the day I arrived, what comes next for Snow College? On November 5th, 2 days ago, Snow College celebrated its 131st year of its founding in 1888. And to honor that fact, I dedicated the first 131 days of my presidency to listening, to a listening tour that took me all over the state, engaging alumni, legislators, industry leaders, students, faculty, staff, and donors, city councils, school boards, superintendents, and really just about anybody else who would stop long enough to talk to me about Snow College. And here's what I was interested in. I wanted to learn what people's aspirations were for Snow College and what they were most proud of and what things that they might be anxious about as we move forward. And so by immersing myself into the world of Snow in this respect, I was struck and am continued to be struck by the passion and loyalty and energy that Snow College elicits from so many people. It's a place that is virtually is fondly regarded by almost everybody that I spoke to. And it is evident that the state of Utah is cheering for us at Snow, and they want our success. Now, this doesn't mean that our needs will be easily met or that our success will come easy. It's never been that way for Snow. It has always created its own success by sheer grit and persistence. But all great works, as Samuel Johnson reminds us, are performed not by strength, but by perseverance. In addition to the listening tour, we conducted 2 anonymous surveys on our campus so that we could better understand Snow's strengths, weaknesses, and opportunities and threats. And by listening and asking questions of so many stakeholders, there were some common themes and principles that have emerged. So I want to share with you 5 things that I've learned so far about who we are, and then let me share 5 propositions for us to consider for the future. So number 1, first and foremost, we put students first. Every decision we have made and will make will be based on the potential impact on students. And on every survey, respondents were decidedly unified on one goal: student success. Number 2, we want to keep Snow College accessible, affordable, and relevant because we also believe that the dividends of a college education go far beyond the collective benefit of our economy and citizenship. The expanded moral mission of Snow College is at its root about fostering the happiness and welfare of human beings, plain and simple. And time and again, research confirms that the more education a person has, the more empowerment they have, the more self-efficacy, the greater social mobility, a better quality of life, expanded consciousness, increased professional opportunities, greater financial self-sufficiency, and even better health. And as educators, this is the primary reason that we do what we do, and it is the soul and heart of our work. Number 3, we are a faculty of engaged educators. We're committed to our mission and to our craft of high-impact learning practices. We are students that have grit, energy, drive, and ambition to achieve personal and professional dreams and goals. And we are a staff devoted to supporting our faculty and students in their vital work. This is a large part of the special sauce found in the spirit of Snow. Snow has long set high expectations for student learning and teaching excellence, and these expectations produce a culture of quality and creativity. Number 4, we are an institution of incredible depth and breadth and quality that belies our size and location. We are a place with a rich and deep heritage, and we value our stories. Stories matter. Stories like our founding people donating eggs late on Sunday to be sold to help build our first building. Or instead of eggs, families donating weekly nickels to help meet costs of the fledgling Snow Academy. This is a community imbued with the spirit of those who dreamt of what one day might be possible, but who also had an extraordinary tenacity and an indomitable spirit. One such story Principal Newton E. Noyes, and it's the same Newton E. Noyes that our Noyes building is named after, when upon learning that funding for the Snow Academy would not be forthcoming in 1898, he wrote, "The hour seems dark, and the piano, we have worked hard to buy, we now have to sell to pay our teachers. And of course, without funds to guarantee salaries, Snow would simply have to close its doors." But the sheer determination to create and sustain this college, not just then, but time and time again, is captured by Principal Noyes when, against all odds, he exclaimed in a public meeting, "This academy will not close." This, too, is the spirit of Snow. Hope in a time of fear. Optimism in the time of pessimism. And number 5, it is hard to replicate the unique, personalized experience of Snow, so necessary for our students as they develop into productive adults. And it's this model that we all have developed such a deep love for. This truly is an exceptional place, a place with an extraordinary history, a history that makes it one of the oldest institutions of its kind west of the Mississippi, and a place filled with extraordinary people who have collaboratively made it the best in its class. Jen and I were recently at a Snow College music event, and I was not only struck by the sheer beauty of the music and the talent of the students, but also by the realization that these students together in this space were much more than the sum of their individual parts in that moment. And it was only together in that physical space that they produced such ineffable art. And by the way, what do you think of our students today and our music? Thank you, Dr. Huff and Brent. Thank you so much. Superb work, students. And because Snow College creates the space for this magic to happen, students thrive and they become a self-supportive learning community. And that can be said of our sports teams and our undergraduate research teams, our study groups and classroom discussions, and the convergence of space and time with young minds under the careful guidance of caring and dedicated faculty. These are the ingredients for powerful transformative learning. So let us not forget, too, that there is power in humans physically convening to learn and socialize. There is something about students coming to a safe and nurturing environment that assists in their maturation as adults and citizens. The world will always need places like Snow where humans gather for edification. There is something powerful and unmistakable about the physical experience here. All of us, but particularly students, will continue to have a profound need to affiliate with others. Indeed, the lack of such connection leads to an epidemic of isolation and loneliness. Emotional connectivity remains a core part of being human and a part of a deep and profound learning experience. So where do we go next? These themes and so many more define who we are at Snow College, and yes, we do dwell in possibility. But what comes next and what is possible? I imagine our forebears, like Newton E. Noyes, might say to us today, you haven't come this far to just come this far. Higher education is in the midst, as Lieutenant Governor was saying, multiple, massive disruptions, and we are facing the single largest economic shift since the Industrial Revolution. Technology, automation, and globalization are affecting nearly every dimension of our world, but probably nowhere more than work and education. And one thing that our biological sciences teach us is that it is not necessarily the strongest of the species that survives, nor the most intelligent, but the one most responsive to change. So as we consider together the future of our college and plan for the various and changing needs of our learners, let me ask you to consider 5 propositions. Proposition 1, by far the leading theme that emerged from our surveys was that Snow College needs to remain accessible and affordable, and then do everything possible to help students succeed once they enter our doors. So to improve our reach and student success rates, we will focus on a new and aggressive student enrollment management plan and further improve our overall retention and persistence rates. We have made great progress here, and between our retention and transfer rates, we rank among the best in the country for our type of institution. However, there is still so much more to do. To serve our students even better, we will need more sophisticated work in integrating our student recruitment and retention efforts and invest in the types of retention activities that work. We commit to being relentless in our commitment to student success. But we also know that the largest barrier for many students is a financial one. And at Snow, we have a disproportionate number of students who are first-generation college goers, and the vast majority of scholarships available to students in Utah are merit-based, and that is awards based on academic performance. This needs to be balanced with an equal attention to need-based scholarships, and that is assistance based on financial considerations of families, especially in rural Utah. If we are to move the student completion needle, we need to find ways to make more need-based scholarships available. And this is why Snow College is so appreciative of the work of Representative Darren Owens in championing the Access Utah Promise Scholarship Bill, which is intended to cover tuition and fees when federal financial aid falls short for low-income students. But we, as a campus, must also do more to reduce the financial stress for low-income and first-generation Snow students. And as such, it was my hope today to make a very big announcement. I wanted to announce today an official kickoff of a $3.5 million scholarship campaign aimed at helping students that need the financial assistance most. But today I cannot do that. And the reason I can't do that today is because as of last week, we have actually raised just under $4 million in cash and pledges. So our campaign goal, I'm announcing today, is $5 million. And we challenge our friends, alumni, and industry leaders to help achieve this goal so that we can extend our reach to those who need an education most. So please help us get there, that last $1 million, so that we can help more students. And I wouldn't be doing my job if I wasn't sort of shamelessly opportunistic by saying that pledge forms and donation slips are at the door. Just kidding. No, I'm not. Seriously, people. Be generous. The only way, and I mean the only way we've been able to get to where we are this early in the campaign is because of the generosity and vision of our key friends and donors. Thank you. Thanks for believing in students and understanding that students who don't have the financial means, more often than not, just need to be given a chance. And we're fortunate to have very active foundation and alumni boards, and thanks to our board members for their significant contributions in time and resources. But there are a few individuals in particular who, given the size of their gifts or pledges for scholarships, deserve special recognition today. First, Dan and Elaine Jorgensen. Dan and Elaine, are you here? Please stand. Thank you for your belief in Snow and its students. You have been terrific friends of the campus for many, many years. Incidentally, and FYI, we are all sitting in the Jorgensen Hall today in honor of their generosity. So thank you. We also want to recognize Roger and Colleen Thompson. Please stand if you're here. Roger and Colleen. Thank you for stepping up and helping us with students. One of our favorite alums, Bob Graham, a beloved alum from Fairview, who, as you all might know, is the namesake of our Science Center, the Robert and Joyce Graham Science Center. Our forever thanks to you, Bob, for your continued support and that of the George S. and Dolores Doré Eccles Foundation. What a force for good. Are you here, Bob? Will you please stand? But there is one person and one couple in particular as it relates to this need-based scholarship campaign that has made a monumental difference in our ability to reach our goal. Mr. Terry Foote. Nancy, can you please stand as well? This is a terrific couple. Terry is an alum of Snow College from 1968-69, and Terry was the first Dugway High All-Stater in that school's history and came here on a football scholarship. So Terry went on and had a very successful career in real estate. And in getting to know Terry, he truly loves snow and had an amazing experience while he was here. And one particular experience that he shared was how much he appreciated the snow spirit and his coach's personal care when Terry severely sprained his ankle. And he was so grateful that the coach kept him on scholarship even because of his bad ankle, which of course by staying on the scholarship allowed him to complete his education. But Terry, you and Nancy, to honor your time at Snow College and your very generous commitment to need-based scholarships, we are so incredibly pleased to announce today the renaming of Badger Stadium to the Terry Foote Badger Stadium. Incidentally, this financial commitment is Snow's largest gift from an individual donor in our history. We couldn't be more thrilled, thanks to the Footes. So Proposition 2. The listening tour and survey results also made it clear that we need to better harness technology. The students we typically serve, as you know, are what policymakers call traditional students, or that is university-bound students, typically 18 to 21 years old. And we are exceptional at educating this type of student who comes here for a coming-of-age experience, benefiting from our personalized, high-touch residential experience, and who typically graduates with an associate's degree or transfers as some of the best-prepared students in the state. But there are many other students who remain underserved. Learners who also need a Snow College education: Native American students, homeschooled students, Hispanic students, veterans. But there are also students who need us who are moving beyond traditional learning. Indeed, the new student majority consists of non- or post-traditional learners. About 3 in 4 undergraduate college students in the U.S. are what experts refer to as non-traditional learners. These are students who attend college later in life, go to school part-time, juggle full-time work, or are raising children. These non-traditional working adults, typically age 25 and above, are often place-bound by circumstance. So how do we meet these students' educational needs in central Utah and beyond? This category of student arguably needs us as much or even more as our traditional students, but they need a different kind of education. Traditional delivery of education is failing to reach our working adults with the skills that they need for the future of their working lives. So we at Snow are now making a very concerted effort to enhance our technology delivery platforms to reach just these kinds of students. We are investing heavily in developing a more vibrant, viable Snow Online division, not to replace our brick-and-mortar experience, but to provide accessible, affordable, and flexible education for working adults and family caregivers who are unable to attend one of our physical campuses. Our goal is to create a system that's low cost to students, online, personalized, and self-paced. We want to provide an option that allows busy workers an opportunity for credential and perhaps a better career and life. We here at Snow are finding more ways to provide credit for prior learning for working adults, as well as developing competency-based education which measures learning rather than time. Competency-based education allows students to study and learn at their own pace. It is particularly ideal for adults with some college but no degree, which sadly Utah was one leader in the country when it comes to those that have some credit but no degree. CBE, it makes it possible for them to come back and complete a degree, which can mean a better job, higher earning potential, and a better life. Proposition 3. It is evident that we need to better align our offerings to the economic needs and skill gaps of the region. We have just completed the most comprehensive study to date of Snow College and the workforce development needs of Central Utah, and one thing is clear. Our service area needs additional career and technical education programs below the bachelor's degrees level. This study will help us focus on designing programs with industry in a variety of market-driven fields. This will include the creation of more micro and stackable credentials, digital badges, certificates, vocational upskilling, reskilling, and bite-sized learning. We must recognize that education can now be anywhere, all the time, and not just in traditional academic settings. What the new economy is demanding in Utah is not necessarily more white-collar or blue-collar jobs, but what are called new-collar jobs in cybersecurity, cloud computing, programming, data analytics, and other high-demand digital fields. And many of these jobs don't necessarily require a traditional degree, but can be achieved by alternative credentialing pathways to jobs such as boot camp-style offerings and apprenticeship opportunities. So having had several conversations with our partners at Silicon Slopes, colleges and universities are not close to keeping up on the digital skills demanded by employers. And we live in a digital world where nearly every aspect of our life depends on computer code. And as a result, coding skills and computer programming competencies are in serious demand across a broad range of careers. And many of these jobs can be done remotely, which helps with our rural agenda, allowing learners and families to stay in their communities, obtain high-demand and high-paying careers in tech without having to relocate to a metro area. So as such, Snow College is exploring a partnership with Bottega, a Silicon Slopes-based computer science school, and expanding certification through coding programs and boot camps for Snow students wherever they might be. Our relationship with the likes of Bottega will allow us to offer accredited, high-quality, industry-level curriculum that ensures students have the most up-to-date curriculum available, curriculum that's updated every 90 days. Full-stack coding certificates paired with a Snow College 2-year or 4-year software engineering degree will lead to exceptional job placement at some of the best companies in the state. And to celebrate this potential partnership, we are honored to actually have CEO and Bottega co-founder Eric Wald. Eric, are you here? And Bottega president, Mr. Fili Ledesma, with us today. Can you stand, gentlemen? Thank you for being here. Proposition 4. While the state of Utah has experienced remarkable economic success broadly since 2008, most remote rural communities have gained little from the growth on the Wasatch Front. The average rural family in Utah faces deep uncertainty. Income instability and evaporation of long-term employment threaten young people's ability to get married, start a family, buy a home, create a business, or find a sense of rootedness. For rural communities, a primary challenge is brain drain when young people go away from college and don't return. Snow College must find ways to meet rural students where they're planted and help them stay in these places if they want. These rural challenges understandably need multifaceted these challenges understandably need multifaceted strategies, but one thing is certain. Rural Utah's economic problems must be solved by those who are most qualified and who are most invested in the outcome, the rural communities themselves. And by investing in frontline institutions like Snow College, who work closely with local education, economic, civic, and industry leaders at the grassroots level, we are in a position to be a strategic asset for the state to make a considerable difference in the economic and social well-being of our communities. The great challenge of higher education is not to just change lives, but to also positively impact communities in which our institutions reside. And some of the critical challenges facing the world today, like poverty, inequality, sustainability, global health, and so forth, are often referred to as wicked problems. Rural development in Utah is a wicked problem for all of us. So can Snow College contribute to solving wicked problems facing rural communities? Yes, I think we can. As such, Snow College's next building request is a replacement facility for an almost 70-year-old family life building. This new facility, when it is built, will be dedicated to rural innovation and development and will house our social and behavioral sciences faculty to harness the power of interdisciplinarity and provide students with the skills and competencies to understand the economic, social, political, and cultural dynamics of rural places. It will also house the college's Entrepreneurship Center and its Small Business Development Center. It will also double our child care capacity to enable more parents to participate in higher education by reducing child care costs that prevent so many rural students from going to college. Thanks to the generosity of our dear friends and two of our most ardent alumni and supporters, I am happy to announce that the facility, when it's built, will be named the Mark and Leanne Stoddard Center for Rural Studies and Community Development. Thank you, Mark and Leanne. Thank you, Mark and Leanne, for believing in Snow College's ability to sustain and develop our rural places. I believe work has required Mark to be out of town, but I think Leanne is here with your son Robert and daughter McCall. The lights up. Can we recognize you, Leanne, and your family if you're here? Oh, there we go. Okay, finally, Proposition 5. In addition to our affordability and personal touch, Snow College has two other competitive advantages: our size and our potential dexterity. As argued, innovation is essential for the healthy and vibrant future of our college. The financial models of colleges and universities around the country are under severe stress, including ours. So to thrive, Snow College must adopt more of an entrepreneurial mindset. We see again and again how a strong can-do entrepreneurial mindset can help overcome obstacles and create new opportunities for colleges who are bold. By adopting a more entrepreneurial mindset, Snow can tap into new revenue streams through auxiliary services, expanding international outreach, creatively partnering with private industry, and harness the power of technology in extending our reach to other types of learners. We at Snow can also nurture an entrepreneurial mindset through tapping the innate creativity of our employees, who need to be empowered to advance ideas and improvements and changes that make us better. Tapping into the grassroots innovation of our employees will often be organic, free-flowing, and sometimes, frankly, a little messy. But this is what healthy colleges do. If nothing else, we should be a dynamic place of ideas, adopting, in a way, a positive and creative restlessness. Places like Snow should also be on the front lines of preparing our next generation of entrepreneurs and business owners in Utah. Entrepreneur Magazine, earlier this year, reported that, get this, 41% of Gen Zers plan to become entrepreneurs in their lifetime, and almost half believe that they will invent something that will change the world. This mindset is particularly important for our rural students, who should be given the skills to create businesses locally and be able to stay in communities where they grew up and have family. And to this end, and thanks to the innovative and creative thinking of our Snow College faculty and staff, we want to announce today the establishment of the GRIT Center for Rural Entrepreneurship. The GRIT Center for Rural Entrepreneurship aspires to help students learn how to bootstrap businesses with hands-on entrepreneurial experience. The acronym, GRIT, stands for grassroots, resourceful, innovative, and tenacious. More than 400 students from 29 different majors to date have participated in GRIT Center programs. And this is a terrific initiative. Snow was built on the grit and tenacity of our pioneer ancestors. And now our grit and tenacity to pull ourselves up by the bootstraps and our success in instilling these same values in the rising generation will ensure the future of our region for generations to come. And can we recognize Russ Tanner, Darren Owens, Stacy McKiff, Tim Chamberlain, Jay Olson, and Malcolm Nash, if they're here, to stand and be recognized for this idea. Okay, let me close. Let me close with a sentiment from Carrie Henry Payne. She was a founding member of the St. Pete Stake Academy. And in a speech that she gave at the Founders Day program in 1931, she writes, as if admonishing us today, quote, "May the star of destiny, which has pointed the way to the fulfillment of the ideals of our pioneer educators envisioned, still lead you on. With eternal vigilance, you, the stewards, into whose affairs of this school are now entrusted, may you continue to overcome the obstacles which lie on your path and to ascend the heights." So we indeed dwell in possibility, and may we help our students ascend the heights. So if we want to honor our past while also being faithful to our future, if we want a Snow College that is a strategic asset to the state of Utah in serving greater numbers of students regardless of circumstance, if we want to serve learners in flexible and multiple ways so that more of them can benefit from the promise of education, and if we want to create a more prosperous community, especially in rural places, we must remember Snow's past. We must realize Snow's present. And we must reimagine Snow's future. And here's the good news. If we want to be the responsive, relevant, and innovative institution that we aspire to be, all we have to do is choose to have it. Thank you.